All right, we're gonna call the Buckfield Budget Committee meeting to order as of 6:02 PM. According to our bylaws, we have a quorum with Abby here and myself. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our February 10th Budget Committee meeting. I've looked through them. I know they looked real good. Everything was captured. All the motions were captured. Um, Abby, you have anything on this?
No.
Nope. I'll make a
Are they approved?
motion that we accept the minutes. I have a second on that from you, Abby,
Yep.
and we'll both vote on that. Okay, so minutes are approved. Couple things we had to go over here, last later things. Reviewing the fire chief recommended changes. Pam, you wanna quick
Yeah,
overview of that?
so Adam had sent me an email with the budget that he was working on that he thought he had sent to me that got tied up into his outbox. So in a matter of being transparent and fairness, I included it in the manager column of the sheet that you have in front of you. So he had a couple of different numbers than I did. One of them was the wage line. I don't agree with his wage line because I based my wages off of our estimated hours and pay scale. So the number that I gave you was based off of that. I don't know where Adam came up with his 93,000. It's what, $1,750 less than what I proposed. So my personal opinion is we should keep that at 94,750. However, as you go down, you can see that he made adjustments to, wow, okay, it's right there. Turnout, which I know that was a question that Jake had brought up at the last meeting, as we're trying to rotate out gear.
Yep.
That's expired. His proposal was 13,500 instead of 12,000. I can understand that the prices of the turnout gear has gone up, and
It's $1,500 more.
$1,500 more than what I had originally proposed.
Okay.
I didn't show it on this sheet. He did make a recommendation of the same amount for gas and diesel. However, looking at the historic figures, I believe the 2000 is fine, so I didn't include it in here.
Okay.
I don't believe we need to over budget for that. And then his other change was, Abby, help me out.
That was on communications equipment.
Communications, yep. So the original proposal for communications was 2,000. He put in 2,500. I don't feel that's an unrealistic ask based off of, what it costs to do, let's let Adam talk. You good? Once he gets in here. Here, Adam.
Good now, I think.
All right, so just to give you a heads up on what I gave them. Nobody will be able to hear you if you don't have this. So the budget that you had sent me.
Yep.
You had a wage request of 93,000.
Yes.
I had 94,750.
Yep.
And I did that based off of estimated hours and pay scales.
Yep.
So not to say I disagree with you, but I think they should keep the 94,750 just to make sure that we're supposed to be. However, I did notate your change to turnout gear.
Yep.
You would put 13,500.
Okay, go ahead. Yep.
I had originally had 12, so I told them that I feel that's a reasonable ask.
And I put 13,500 because I called for a price of the gear. They went up 3% from last year.
Perfect.
So, and that's why I went up on the price this year.
And that's what I had.
We discussed that a little bit at the initial budget meeting. Jake had thought that we might be a little low on that, so.
And turnout gear is coat, pants, gloves, and a hood. It's not boots and a helmet. That's not included in turnout gear.
Right. Okay. And then I had reduced the gas and diesel line, and the only reason is I have 2 or 3 years worth of history, and I know what you guys use.
Yep.
And there's no reason to over budget that, so I left that the same. And then you had increased communications by 500, which I put in there. I think you have the original one that I had given them
Yeah.
at their first meeting. So you can see I increased the maintenance line. And then,
Maybe not, I don't know. This is the one I did, I mean, actually,
oh, is that the one I just emailed you back? Or, sorry, I didn't email you the copy. I had to clean it up on Excel because you were having issues with the cells I could see.
sure was.
So essentially what we're looking at for fire is, if you stay with my recommendation for wages, is an increase to the turnout line, an increase to the communications equipment, and then everything that you saw at the last meeting, which included an increase for fire vehicle apparatus maintenance. The capital equipment, I had hit on this, you probably didn't see the meeting. I had told them about the Cascade system. So what I had proposed was the $10,000 with the remaining coming out of the reserve account, which I've shared with them.
Yeah, that was something I came in to talk about. We are putting in for a grant. Doesn't mean we're gonna get it, but we've been pretty lucky with the company that the grant system that we're going through. So hopefully we can get it, but like I said, it's not a guarantee.
Right. And it won't pass this flow testing. And Adam had shared with me that in order to get it hopefully fixed, there's no guarantee. It'd cost us $8,500 to ship it out and $8,500 to get it back. So you're already close to 20 grand into it just to ship it out and hope that it fixes the problem. But it's a dated system. I don't even think they sell parts.
No, they have to rebuild whatever computer system's in it, and the system is, from the information we can get, it's between a 1994 and a 1998 system.
So it's over 30 years old.
So basically what we're looking at then is overall for an increase, the two lines we're really looking to increase here are the turnout gear for $1,500 and the communications equipment for $500, right?
And whether we keep the wages
Wages.
as is or decrease it.
I'm gonna get
But there was something I wanted to discuss about the wages. That I have my copy. I don't have actually your copy. I think I have somewhere here.
I can get you a copy of it if you. If you were to keep the wages where they were at, the total budget would be 191,700. And if you went with the chief's request, it would be the number that's at the bottom of that manager column,
The 189.
950.
I think it makes sense to keep the higher wages and go with these two additions.
Adam just said he wanted to talk about
Yeah, I think out
So
of
the wages, I was looking at what Cam suggested for wages. I don't need a pay raise. I'm not looking for a pay raise. I think the stipend works out and I saw that you eliminated stipends on yours. Perfectly for me, because it's impossible for me to keep track of my hours when I'm working. I'm a UPS driver. So I'm on the phone 2 or 3 times a day. I'm answering emails 3 or 4 times a day. I can't keep track of all the hours I'm doing and constantly the amount of hours. So I feel the stipend is the proper way to do it. And if I were to try to keep track of hours, I think the problem would be I would be way above what we're suggested here for hours, affordability for my position. So, and I think the stipends, it's the same thing with everybody else. I'm trying to look at your, the other one right now, so. Where was it?
here.
Okay, so you would want to go back to $23 an hour plus a $1,000 stipend?
No, my stipend it was originally agreed upon 4 or 5 years ago. It was $4,000 a year for me. It was
So last year,
3,000.
his wage went from 1475 or 1480 an hour to $23 an hour.
Okay,
So the stipend got reduced to $1,000 a year.
okay.
However,
Previously, it was $14.50 and a $4,000 stipend.
and a $4,000. So it was minimum wage plus a
Yeah,
$4,000
yeah.
stipend.
Okay.
So the deputy chief, I believe, was 2,500. This was again before
Yeah,
wage
yeah,
increases.
Yeah,
Everybody made minimum
Yeah.
wage.
yeah.
And then I think the captain was like 1,500. The lieutenants were 750.
Training officer was 500.
Right. So we made a big pay adjustment last year because the minimum
Right.
wage thing was.
Yeah.
So I'll let Adam talk to what he wants, because like I said, that's his request.
I just, like I said, every town around is paying stipends for their chief officers and for training officers and whoever. I'm not saying we have to be like every other town, but in order for me to actually put the proper amount of time in, I think I should be properly paid for it. And also my deputy and captain, when they need to be doing something, I think they should be properly paid for it, stipend wise. And also stipend isn't just for doing work, it's availability. My availability, I do a lot for the town, and I'm not asking to be paid for everything I do. I love doing it, so that's why really I'm doing it. $4,000 is not a lot. I do miss out on a lot of stuff. I know my Tim puts a lot of time into the town.
So with this, with your proposed budget to 93,
Yep.
that all of the officers and yourself and the other guys, you're all good with this.
My
I need to-
93,000 was, and I actually did not know the stipends got changed to $1,000. I guess I missed that. The 93,000 was to continue me at the 23. My deputy at,
750.
yep, and so on and so forth. You guys got it. You guys have
Yeah.
it all right there. And that was to originally keep the original stipends for the 4,000, 2,500, the 1,500, whatever it was, and the 750 for the lieutenant throughout the year. And that was at that 93, with competitively paying our per diem guys and properly paying the call guys. And I feel that wage is going to be accurate with the amount of attendance we've had turning out for calls the last year or two. It's nobody wants to do it anymore. So I think we can pay people better. Hopefully we can get more help on scene.
If we run similar calls, just based off math, if we run similar calls to what happened last year, because you had a lot of calls, that 93, even my 94 is not enough for those stipends at where it's at. Now, the $4,000 stipend, I could understand when you guys were making minimum wage, but you got to have some sort of reduction in that stipend. Now, with that said, and I don't want to make you feel like I'm attacking you or anything, and I'm just being number wise. If we maintain that stipend at the current wages, then that budget line needs to be
Way higher.
it needs to be recalculated and a lot higher, because I think if you have the call volume of last year, we'll go over budget.
Yeah, I mean, if we do the call volume that we did last year, Adam's gonna be over 500 hours by May.
And again, that's an estimate based off of the prior year's hours that were turned in. Now, I understand, and this is one of the things that, maybe Adam and I haven't sat down and talked about, is I understand the whole tracking admin hours, because I know like on the weekends he comes in, does all the run sheet stuff that he needs to do there, and then he's always, doing other things for the department that are, off the books, which would justify the stipend. The town, I understand making emergency personnel clock in is stupid. It's not going to happen when you're responding to an emergency. However, if you're doing admin work, all you got to do is open the app, hit clock in, you're done. And I don't think,
Plus, if he's at the department, like, what are gonna be devil's advocate?
he doesn't have to clock in at the department. It's on his phone.
Making
And
a
I
call.
don't have him geofence. If he's on a call, he doesn't have to clock in because that's going to be reported on the run sheet.
No. He's at work and saying he's making like he made a call for a turnout here today. And he starts clocking all those hours.
It's tracked. It takes 2 seconds. He doesn't have to fill out a paper.
They're saying
15 minutes at a time. I mean, it's
So, let me back up a point. I'm confused here on one thing. So Adam, when you're saying that 93, what would your hourly rate be?
I'm 23.
23.
I'd even, I mean, if
So-
it helps, I would
Well-
go down to 21.
Well, what I'm getting at though, is that 23. And you said in a $4,000 stipend is what you talked about, that would. I don't know how we would keep it 93 with. It seems like we're not,
So my budget eliminated the stipend. So you would have to add in $4,000 for him, $2,500 for the deputy
Right.
chief, $1,500 for the captain, and then whatever your lieutenants are going to get. So $750 a piece. You still have a safety officer, or is that a separate
We
position
have
from
a position,
lieutenant?
We own, but we do not have one.
Dual role right now.
Yeah.
So you would have to add all those stipends back in order for us to have an accurate number.
right, so how would we stay at 93,000 to do that? That's what I'm not.
We couldn't stay at either of our numbers.
no.
Right, so that's why I'm not,
I have 3 hours. So
Right, but I have to budget for the potential of you hiring a deputy chief.
I get it, but.
I mean, not a deputy chief,
I understand.
lieutenant.
They will not, we're gonna have a cash.
So at a minimum, you would have to add 4,000, 2,500 and 1,500.
What did we, pay out for our day crew last year? You have an average, you know?
It's all in the same line. I think moving forward, maybe I should
I was
have
just trying to think.
them on a separate.
Cause my day crew has been 1 or 2 days a week, trying to get somebody to come in. Everybody wants to be busy, and unfortunately Buffalo's not. We're overly busy.
What did I put down for budgeted hours here?
That's what I was thinking, like you
So if you look at your per diems, basic. I did, 2,600.
Is that hour? Where'd you see?
So 2,600 divided by whatever the average.
Where are you looking?
Right here. So if you look at, see this 2,600 per diem hours,
Okay.
50 hours a week. Based off your average salary of your.
What are we paying the?
But this is where but that's a big jump from,
yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
because
What's
this
the coverage?
has gone, because this was last,
2,600, yeah.
But is that?
this was
That's
last year.
for the full year. That's how many
That's-
per diem.
It should,
Right.
At 20.
but what I'm asking last year, do you have any idea of what we paid last year?
I don't know the actual.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think we paid.
yeah.
Oh, we went over on call volume,
Oh,
You do that.
so that
'Cause, like, if
ate
you
into what,
Say
Right.
this, well, you're gonna go up to.
2,600 divided by 52, that's 50 hours a week.
Is it even,
I can't remember what the average was. It's like,
even,
we'll just call it
what, 2,500?
22,
I think the highest we paid is 21.
30. I'd rather budget a little bit higher. It's only a few dollars at the end, but so that's like 34,320. And originally,
Well, that's only his, if we increase it, and then you have.
so 3 days a week worth of per diem or daytime coverage.
Yep.
Versus 5 days a week reduces that cost by roughly 20 grand.
And I think that's what we've been averaging is about 3 days a week for per diem coverage.
We just have to be aware that if that's what it was, if you were only, like, if 1 week you had 5.
Yeah.
Or a couple weeks you had 5 days of coverage, that, hey, there's gonna be some weeks you're gonna have to cut back to make up for that difference.
Right.
If you were to make an adjustment to that. Cause we're talking what, 4,000 plus 2,500. Plus 2,500 plus 1,500. So you need to come up with $8,000 at least. So you could probably cut back to 4 days a week if that's what you're averaging.
That's actually what I was probably planning on doing, is cutting back 4 days a week anyway, so.
So if he wants to work his budget out so that he can do that, he'd still be able to do it within the amounts, either one,
All right,
depending on how much he cuts back.
if you can make your budget or stay within this, what I would propose is you stay with the number you gave us, give us a little bit of a buffer against the number Adam gave us. That way, you know, if for some reason it goes up a little bit more than what you're thinking, we're covered.
Yep.
You're talking his budget and my budget, we're talking $1,400.
Right, that's what I mean.
1,700 bucks. It's the 1,700 bucks.
Yeah, 1,700, but yeah, so if we would just keep that, gives you that, it's not a lot of a.
I get what I'm saying is,
Buffer.
the stipend helps a lot for everybody involved, and me including,
Yeah,
I said, I can't keep track of that.
yeah, no, we're not,
I can't do it.
So what you want, Adam, is for this to just be reflected differently. What Bob wants is keep the 94,750, but Adam wants it to say the chief is at $23 an hour with a $4,000 stipend. At each, right?
I mean, I'd like every stipend,
Yeah.
that's why
yeah.
I like it written out.
Yeah, that's what, okay. And then you're going to change something. What is the
We're gonna-
medium hours down?
From 5 days a week to 4 days a week, which we've been averaging 3 to
Okay,
4 days a
So
week.
that's how many hours per, so this is 50 hours per week, and 2,600 per diem hours. So what are we going down to?
So 52 weeks a year, a day a week, 5 days, so 4 days times 52 is 208 days. Times 10 hours. So 2,080 hours.
And I know I'm asking on the fly.
We'll average 22 times 7. So that's 4570, 760. 60, which will be allocated to.
I know you're getting nervous about your planning board meeting. We'll just have to start it a little bit late.
yeah,
The rest of this should be quick.
yeah. But I'm just thinking if we would, making it simple, go with the 94,750. As long as Adam can manage.
I'm fine with that, I just,
Manage,
Yeah,
as long as you can
everything
manage your
written.
budget within there.
Yeah, you just want it written differently.
yeah, I think everything written.
So we're gonna keep, what we're saying is we're gonna keep the 94,750,
750.
so that there's a little wiggle room to whatever it ends up coming up to.
Yeah.
But we're going to change the proposed and to, okay. Chief is gonna be at 23 plus 4,000.
I think all my original officers, pay, I'm fine with going with what I said. I don't think we need to
We
give,
could, I think as long as.
and I don't know if that
Yeah,
matters
just,
right now.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
With,
Them-
you,
I figured it out.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
real quick.
oh, no, I hit the wrong.
I know, but
Well,
I
no.
kind of write it down myself so
Okay,
that
okay.
I have it in my notes.
Brain.
Yeah. Okay. So deputy chief, Adam, what was the stipend for deputy chief? 25?
Yes,
Okay. Captain,
1,500.
15. And the lieutenant is
750.
750. Okay.
So with what we're proposing about cutting to 4 days instead of 5 days.
Yeah.
And if he needs, basically you would need to maintain this officer structure. And then the lieutenants will just get more per hour for the time they work,
Yes,
if you end up appointing one.
I do have one though. Covers lieutenant.
Oh,
But
Which because, see, that's where it gets tricky, and this is why I was trying to align it with rescue, is because I have dual purpose people that I can't pay them one wage on one department and another wage on another department. So Tucker, when he works, is actually higher than what I budget for because his wage is higher based off of his captain rank on rescue. Because they're paid out, there's no stipends on rescue.
so, wow, I guess I didn't know that.
Same with like,
So when
you have a
Tucker's working
paramedic.
for fires and when he's making more, because he's also a member of rescue, is the more he's making coming out of rescue, or is that coming out of fire?
It's coming out of the fire budget. Employee's an employee. I can't have multiple wages for those employees. I mean, to the extent that it's not a massive hit to your budget, but it's something that has to be accounted for.
So what if, so I have a call number. So, I mean, this is all gonna be parts of salaries and wages. If I have a call number who's on both departments, and my call number is, say, a firefighter 1 and 2, they make $18 an hour, right? Correct?
They make the highest of the two wages.
Okay, so what does a EMT intermediate make for
In advance, is that what you're talking about?
the next level up from the base?
Advanced.
So advanced are 20 to 22. It's a wage
So-
scale.
So if I have a joint member, are they making on a fire call the rescue rate or the fire?
They're making the town of Buckfield employee rate. They're getting paid this. Once they're at a rate, that's the rate they make.
So that's.
So the majority of your
that makes a lot
department,
more sense now.
the
Right, I know.
majority of your department, I can budget this way. But at the same time, if we have a dual purpose member, and this is why I was trying to align everything so that there's nobody's getting dinged harder than the other one. That's why I did what I did. But
I did not, okay.
I can also see where you're coming
know
from.
that.
But that does have to play into how people are paid. It'd be no different as if you had a fire member that was a basic EMT, but they were your captain. They're going to get paid the captain rate over at rescue too because
Right.
that's their rate.
So,
That's our budget.
I don't know if either one of our budget lines is gonna be enough this year, after saying that. We have a few members that are
I'm going to start a little late.
on both departments. I'll be done here in just a minute anyway, so, actually, with my daughter, so,
So I need to,
I did not know, I guess I did not know that we were paying the joint members, the rescue, I guess we're gonna call it the rescue rate compared to the fire.
it's just like, it's the same thing with workman's comp. Like I have to pay the firefighter workman's comp rate if they're on both departments, whether they work primarily on rescue or not. Everything is
Is this because
tied
we're
together.
funding it as public safety and not,
Nope,
no?
nope.
Oh, all right.
Okay, I guess I'm confused about that too. Why, if there were, I mean, I get why, like, you make a rate, that's the rate you get. But why, if they're acting as a firefighter and, like, I know they don't just do fire calls, because if they're if they're there, they would jump in and do a rescue. But why? If they're, like, fire today.
Because they're a town of Buckfield employee. They're not a Buckfield
Okay,
Fire Department employee.
So the way town of Buckfield has structured it is that it's not, like, you're not budgeted
But-
budgeted as a
Let's
fire person today.
use me as an example.
Oh,
I'm salaried, right? I'm salaried.
Yeah,
If I were on Adam's department as a member, I don't get paid any extra. That's what the town of Buckfield pays me. In adjusting,
just as an outsider, that's weird that.
I do payroll for over 90 employees.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, as, like, if you volunteered on the fire department and they all get
It's,
whatever they get, you don't get paid as to show up to a fire call. You just get your salary as the
It's
town
because-
manager.
fire department is not a volunteer. I mean, it is in essence, like, you know, they volunteer a lot of
Yeah.
time, but it's a paid per call department. They're an employee of the town,
Okay.
and to fluctuate wages constantly throws a bunch of red flags up, especially with the Bureau of Labor and then
Yeah,
employees.
no, it's just,
It's complicated. That's why I'm saying, like,
so it sounds fishy that you're not paying a fire, like the firefighter, like, it's throwing red flag up me sitting on the outside. Like,
but
why is,
so that firefighter is firefighter 1 and 2
yeah,
and an advanced EMT.
no, he's worth a ton to the department. I'm just saying, it's just interesting that he gets paid a higher rate at, like, as,
As an advanced EMT when he's doing firefighter stuff.
yeah.
And I'm not.
He says, if we get an emergency call, and this is where some of this gets, like, having 2 separate departments that essentially work hand in hand is complicated, because if our rescue captain is covering a day fire shift and there is an emergency call and he is able to assist on that call, well, now he's working for rescue and he's working for
Yeah,
fire,
no,
depending on what he's doing. So
I
you see the,
it gets I'm just saying, as it just it seemed weird that if you sign up to be, let's just say you sign up to be the EMT for the day, then rescue has to pay your higher, you're just a basic EMT, so what's not on this one? So you make what, $18 an hour? We'll just say, I'm just throwing it out. I don't know.
whatever number you pulled out.
And then, but you're actually a lieutenant on the fire department, so now the rescue has to pay you $20 an hour instead of the 18 as a basic. So
We talked about the admin hours and how hard it is to track it. Can you imagine me having to have an EMT clock out, clock in as an EMT,
No.
clock out, clock back in as a firefighter?
no, it's
I thought it was just as simple as you're working a fire shift, you're making fire pay that day. You work a rescue shift, you're making the advanced EMT.
No, you're getting paid your rate.
So my numbers the last few years have been, how long have you been doing it this way?
This has been well over a year.
Wow, all right then.
How did we do on?
so how was it before? Like, how long have we been paying fire and
So fire
And-
has always made minimum wage. They get paid, was it twice a
Right,
year?
yeah.
Twice a year is what you
Yeah.
used to get, or was it once a year? I can't
Twice a
remember. Twice a year.
yeah,
And that's what it was. He does call sheets. They've got run sheets. He
Yeah.
knows how many hours for each one. He reports it to me on a 6-month basis,
Yeah.
which has no audit trail whatsoever. I mean, obviously he's the audit trail. He's the one verifying it all. But when the auditors look at an email with 100 hours,
Yeah.
25 hours, 300 hours,
yeah.
there's no verifiable way to audit it.
There's no time clock stamp.
There's no timestamps. There's no
Yeah.
time cards. I mean, there's
Yeah,
run sheets.
yeah.
Those are
Right.
housed.
Yeah. It can go anywhere from 15 minutes to
Minimum is an hour.
6.
Minimum is an hour.
Okay, so it can go anywhere from an hour to 16 hours, or however. I get that.
So that's the way it was.
Okay.
So let's,
Now they're paid an hourly wage based off of their level.
Yeah.
And that's their rate.
are you guys gonna need to go back and revisit this and bring this back to us?
I didn't realize this was an issue until just now. So Adam and I need to sit down. I don't know how I'm supposed to present this to the select board in 3 days, your recommendations and my recommendations. And so I'm going to have to bring them something totally different that you guys aren't going to see, which is fine.
I think we can make it simple. Just hang on, let me just I was just in the middle of this little calculation here and. 2 times.
Is Kyle the only one here for the planning board meeting right now?
I think so.
While you're calculating, I'll be right back.
Impressed.
We'll figure it out.
That's a hard one to figure out. So. What's the?
Cause I have different,
It's 88,000. Was that, what I wanna know is if this number from last year was even spot on.
That's where I was getting.
Yeah.
I think we were under.
What?
I think we were under.
So then,
I can't guarantee that, but I think we were under.
So then you don't have to worry, well, you don't have to worry about it if we go up to the 94,750, if you were under. You know what I mean?
Or make it even 95, I mean,
Yeah.
what's,
Was the
what did we pay out on salary? And
last year? Cameron,
you know what we ended up paying out last year for salaries and wages total? We didn't go over, right?
No, right, fire did not go over in wages.
okay,
We went
Well,
over
then-
in maintenance.
Right.
so then the 88,000 budgeted wasn't completely used then?
80, that's this year. We haven't even made it through this year yet.
Okay, well then whatever it was for 2025 wasn't even used then.
2024.
Yes. 2024.
Oh my God. Trio.
I think we've been close once, and that was 3 or 4 years ago. And other than that, from what I remember, it's been, oh wait, no,
Because if Cameron says that it's been like this for at least a year, that you didn't know, and if it went,
We've been on track.
if it was on track, then we really shouldn't have to worry about it, the 94,750. All you have to worry about is changing the language of the proposed.
So
Right.
account inquiry.
Okay. As long as you.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
The numbers there,
Yeah,
said the number would work at 94.
Well,
50.
it could take, it'll take me less than a few minutes to calculate it if I have the stuff in front of me, but
I just wanted to know if
320. It's just Kyle right now, so I don't even know if you're gonna be able to have a planning board meeting.
Yeah.
I just came in and said,
So last year in 2024,
okay,
so 24, 25, they were still making minimum wage.
yeah.
They budgeted 69.2, they spent 62.63.
Okay,
And then
gotcha.
That was a few years ago?
24, 25, so.
What did you say that number was, Cam?
Oh, geez, 60,
62.
I think, yeah, somewhere in the ballpark of 62, you were budgeted for 69.
2 years ago.
Or the last completed fiscal year, what
Yeah.
ended in July. For June. All right, so 100, 320. Currently, we're budgeted for 88
Mm-hmm.
and we've expended 42. So we're on
This only goes to
7 months into the year now, or almost 7 months. I haven't, and I just paid out the last quarter, so I haven't paid out the first quarter because we started with much pushback. We started paying the all guys and girls on a quarterly basis. So I paid the first 2 quarters. I haven't paid, obviously it's only February. I haven't paid the 3rd quarter yet. So there's a little bit of adjustment in there. I don't know how busy Adam's been. But we're still
Still on track.
on track.
We're gonna be, looks like we're gonna be right in the same area as we were before, just up to date with the numbers. So it looks like we might be within $3,000 to $4,000 of the 88.
But with that said, this was basing the fire chief stipend off of 1,750 for the deputy chief. So now if that goes back, that's gonna immediately suck out 4 to 8 grand.
Yeah, right now. We're talking about 80,000 for the volunteer fire department or the whole rescue and the fire department?
There is no volunteer.
It's
They're
not volunteer.
volunteers. They're on call,
Ah,
but they're paid a wage. They're not.
ah.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're doing it full time.
It's not full-time. Full-time would mean there's somebody in the building all the time for him. We were just talking about this. There's,
That's $1 million.
Just job.
yeah, that's,
We can do that.
yeah.
Warrant item?
So if you're on track for that 88,
Can you give me your sheet real quick? Just so I can see the numbers and. I'll make this as simple as possible. Well, I'd rather walk out of here with a recommendation of something than nothing at all. Because we're trying to avoid the not having a budget committee recommendation. We'd like you to have some sort of recommendation one way or another.
So, well, he's doing that based on the numbers from the year before. With the stipends where they were, that's about $7,000 extra, which would add, so we had budgeted, I put 62, I meant 82. I'm sorry. And we ended up, we budgeted 89. We ended up spending 82, about $7,000 extra with all stipends said and done. That covers the stipends. This year, I'm right around the same number as we were, obviously higher call volume, higher budget. It's going to be right around the same as last year. Our call volume this year is even with last year, but who knows what could happen. I can't guarantee anything. So.
Plus this, and this, and then you said 2080. I get that one. Plus.
They told us in school we wouldn't have a calculator in our pockets all the time.
They were wrong. 4-day per diem shift with the estimated hours based off of the rates comes out to 89,810, but that's without factoring in if you were to appoint lieutenants without a stipend, because I didn't add any stipends in for lieutenants. So, but again, that's within $4,000 to $5,000, and we've just had the discussion about some people are a little higher than what the set wages if they just work for fire. So I would say either of those numbers would work.
We're right on.
I would, my recommendation is just go with the number I put there, because I'd rather see him have a little bit more, which is gonna have a minimal impact to taxes anyways, like negligible,
Okay.
than end up $2,000 or
Okay.
$1,700 short.
We're $1,700 for this. I'm fine with that.
all right, so to boil it down, we're gonna take all three of these things. We would go with your recommendation for the wages. Increase the turnout gear to $1,500 and increase the communications $500. That was the three differences in this budget for the fire department.
Correct.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep salary and wages at 94,750. We're gonna increase turnout gear up 1,500. We're gonna increase comm equipment up 500. I guess that's actually supplies go up, yeah, and then that's 2,000.
Yeah.
And so we'll end up with a budget of 191,700.
For fire department, but
For
you need
fire
to vote on the overall for public safety, so let me get you that total.
Okay. Yeah, and that's just, so we're gonna accept that and they can work, and this is gonna be
Right.
reworded.
Public safety. So,
Which one? That can be- But that is what they're gonna pay this.
it was a $1,750 difference, right, between those two?
Yep.
So what you would vote on is the overall public safety budget, which would be 857,448.
How much?
That's fire rescue, hydrants, that's
Okay.
everything public safety, animal control, streetlights,
857, 450, you said?
857,448,
What is hydrants?
62,000 and some change.
Is that just getting us water and then maintaining the facility?
That
I
is
know we've argued about this. Okay.
making
yes.
sure the water is there.
Okay.
All right, so for tonight's purposes, for what we're going through, for just the fire rescue. We're looking at 191,700.
That's just for fire.
No, because your votes are just, they're based off of how we vote on them. So you have to vote on public safety.
Okay,
So last meeting, you voted to approve,
okay, I got you now.
you voted to approve 855,698. With the changes that Adam had recommended and the 1,750 difference in the wage, it comes out to 857,448.
Okay. So you should-
Here, you can have your paper back before I get you wicked confused. Oh. So you'd be looking at, to give you an idea, if you look at the 3 sheets I gave you at the beginning.
Yep.
So there's one that says version 3, manager column adjustments, no FD wage change. So version 3 is what we're basically talking about now. So you'll have to have a vote on if that's what the committee wants to do, the 857,448. And that would result in our overall town increase is a 3.26, but after you factor in revenues, we would be a net negative 3.31% increase for the year. So we're still lower than last year.
Okay.
All right, so I
wrote way too many things. Way too many things. Okay. That's 8.
I get both your eyes crossed.
yeah,
Yeah.
very much so.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. So public safety was 855,698.
Correct.
And with the changes, because the salary isn't changing, but the other changes, it's going up to 857,448. Right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. You good with that?
I had to ask, and then now I just need to write it down so that when I have to write up minutes.
I'm gonna go in and I'm just going to plug these numbers right into the worksheet so that
Where should I write it? Oh, there we go. 857.
let me plug the numbers in and we'll just make sure that we're accurate.
Yep.
So we don't have to do this again.
Okay.
Okay. So if the budget committee were to accept So you had already originally accepted that. So the only changes we need to make are to communications equipment, 2,500.
Yep.
And then where's the trend here right above it? 1,350 or 13,500, sorry.
Yes, that's it, yeah.
And then if I hit save. Worksheets. Real mouse, this is a pain. News. I was off a little bit. So that would make it 857, 698. I got that on the screen so that you can see it.
690.
So that would be the total if everything that was discussed here was in play.
Okay.
All right,
Okay, I propose we accept the changes to the, let me say it correctly, public safety budget, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eight 57, 698.
For 857, 698.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Yep.
Yeah. That piece is done. Oh. Adam, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
The next two things should be real quick.
Like, this is straight, we're spending $800,000 a year on a volunteer fire department.
It's not
They're
the
not
fire department, yeah.
It's volunteer, they're not their own. I'll keep for myself, let you guys continue this.
What
Winter
is the
Road.
next item?
Yeah, so there's two other things that we had to do. The winter sand budget, what we talked about was Cam had estimates, but nothing firm yet. So what, I'm making a motion that we approve whatever the selectmen,
Yeah, because they're due
when they get
March
the
3rd.
RFP.
3rd.
Yeah,
Okay.
so whatever RFPs you get in and selectmen approve, is that what we approve for the budget? It's gonna be a fixed cost. We're gonna have to pay it no matter what.
So that would adjust the public works budget depending on what that rate was.
Right.
It would just adjust it by however, we'd be budgeting for the same amount of sand. It would be what's the dollar figure?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, we're just,
I did budget higher than what we currently pay.
Yeah.
If it comes in less, then I'll be able to make that adjustment down. If it comes in higher, we'll have to make that adjustment because got to buy the sand.
right, we have to buy it, so.
I think what I did is I budgeted for 3,200 yards at $12. We currently pay $10.50. If it comes in at $12.50, I'll have to add 50 cents times 3,200 to whatever the budget number is.
Right.
So just to make that as simple as of an explanation as I can.
Right. So I make the motion that we allow, we budget for whatever the bid comes in, the selectmen approve. That is added in the budget. For sand. Short.
Okay, I'll second that.
More discussion? Favor? Passed. There was one other thing, Cam, you had talked about was the tipping fees.
So I forgot to add it to this agenda, but,
Okay.
so we found out from Maine Waste to Energy that the tipping fees have been set at $88 a ton. My budget that I had proposed to you budgeted for $70 a ton. So at $88 a ton, based off of our estimated tonnage, we were looking at a $20,250 increase above and beyond what we had budgeted
What
for
would be
originally.
budget?
So, that also affects Sumner's share. So Sumner has a share of that. So in revenues, I added $7,087 for Sumner's share of that $20,000. The rest would be Buckfield's. And I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's one of those items that
Mm-hmm. They make the fee and
they set the
pay
rate.
it, yeah.
So
Is
I
that,
did, I didn't give you the sheet, but I'll pull it up on the screen so you can see it.
and that would come under,
Solid waste, it's its own budget line. Which you probably have last meeting's copy, maybe.
well, I have it. The,
They have it.
yeah, it's 358, 450 is for the expense budget.
So I had to add, so your original recommendation from last meeting was 266,500 on the disposal line or waste and recycling line. That line had to be increased to 286,750. To give you an idea, the overall solid waste budget had to be increased to $378,700, up from the 358,450 that you approved. So unless we got a proposal on how to make, I don't know, 50, 60 tons of trash, not go to the incinerator.
Tell them not to put everything in plastic.
So, and then to put that into perspective, like I said, I had also added that money into the local revenues.
Mm-hmm.
So the revenue for solid waste went up from 131,958 to 139,045. So obviously that 20,000 hit isn't all to Buckfield,
Yep.
but 65% of it is. So all I would need from you is just a motion to approve the changes to solid waste. You don't have to list them out. I mean, we've discussed it.
Yeah.
But those were the only two changes, revenue and then the expense.
Are you good, Bob? Okay, so I'll motion to approve the changes to the solid waste budget.
I'll second it. Any more discussion? We're good with it.
The last thing I'll mention is the projections for revenue sharing, which you guys already voted to accept whatever's higher. The projections did come out and I was able to add $25,000 to the revenue sharing line because of those projections. So that did go up.
Great.
So by default, because of your vote, that'll be your recommendation.
Okay, if we can close the meeting at 7:00,
7 o'clock
7 o'clock.
or 7:01 or whatever you want to say.
Is that a motion?
That's a, yes, I'll make a
Yeah.
motion to adjourn.
Okay, I'll second it.
We are all in favor, aye. I think Abby, you voted there?
Yeah, I seconded it.
Okay, and no, and now we have to vote on, now we have to vote on.
Yeah, let's go.
Then, the only other time we might have to meet again at some point is for quarterly
Which will be sometime in April. Sorry, no, January, February, March. Yeah, April.
in April, and then at
Okay.
that point, we will go over these minutes.
Okay.
And if the selectmen have anything they need us to go over, we might have to meet at some point.
Perfect.
Okay,